Welcome back to the channel, guys. Let's get into something a bit heavier today, because this isn't just about hearsay or gossip. This is about power, influence, and the question we should all be asking is Britain being quietly reshaped from above by global elites, by institutions like the World Economic Forum, and by former leaders with long memories and big ambitions? Start with Klaus Schwab. The man founded the WEF back in 1971. The same WEF that brings together global political, business and media elites every year in Davos. For more than 5 decades, Schwab was the face of the globalist network. Now, even after stepping down as executive chair, he remains chairman of the WEF's board of trustees. The WEF markets itself as a platform for cooperation and solving global issues, but critics argue it's a breeding ground for elite consensus, centralised power and policies that undermine national sovereignty. Now, draw the line from Schwab to Tony Blair. Blair long ago joined the WEF's board, a fact often overlooked. The same man who launched the Iraq War, redefined Britain's foreign policy and dramatically changed its immigration landscape, stayed active within globalist circles after leaving office. The overlap of Blair and Schwab, WEF, Davos, global networks isn't coincidence. Its influence, its power, and its pathway for old school politicians to morph into global operatives. Fast forward today with Keir Starmer leading the UK government. Starmer has been publicly cosy with Davos and business elites, inviting investment, courting global capital, signalling the UK is open for business. Now that matters because the direction from Davos and the WEF tends to favour global economics, big business, open borders, regulatory conformity and soft power integration across nations. When former PMs like Blair are still in these rooms, whispering into ears, it raises serious questions about who really runs the show behind the scenes. Schwab's influence came under fresh scrutiny recently. The WEF launched an internal investigation into alleged misconduct by its founder. Accusations range from misuse of funds, lavish lifestyles, to exploiting connections for personal benefit. Schwab officially stepped down as executive chair early in 2025, though he retains a senior role. The scandal may shake up the optics, but the power networks remain intact. The board simply reshuffled, appointed interim leadership, meaning the same network remains behind the scenes. Why does this matter to Britain? Because WEF-style stakeholder capitalism and globalist policy tend to bring centralised control over economies, regulation, border policies and national sovereignty. Laws and budgets start to reflect global priorities, climate, migration, sustainability, regulatory alignment, rather than national interest. When you have former British PM deep in those networks, it becomes not just theory, but potential reality. And the public is waking up to this. People see rising immigration, economic pressures, loss of control over borders and spending. They feel disconnected from decision makers who claim to act in their name, but these policies seem more in tune with global elites than ordinary citizens. If Blair and Schwab influence this behind the scenes, the people don't get a say, but they pay the price. This isn't conspiracy fantasy, these are documented facts. WEF exists, globalist policies are promoted within Davos conferences. Blair is part of that network. Schwab has publicly declared the need for global cooperation, often at the expense of nationalism or sovereignty. The question isn't, is there a link? It's what does the link do to our democracy? So here's the warning. Pay attention when UK policies start echoing global manifesto-style agendas. Watch when the legislation lines up with globalist priorities rather than what serves British citizens first. Don't ignore it because it's elite talk or foreign ideas, because these ideas slowly become policy under the guise of progress, modernisation or global cooperation. If you value national sovereignty, free speech, border control and common sense governance, then this isn't just a story about distant elite and fancy conferences. It's about your future, your identity and who gets to decide for you. So let me leave you with this. Take a look who's meeting at Davos, who's writing the report, who's sitting in back rooms while your MPs vote. Ask yourself, is this global forum shaping our future? And if it is, do you really want a global elite making decisions for Britain behind closed doors? Thanks for watching, guys. If you want more honest political commentary and don't want to miss what's really happening behind the headlines, hit subscribe now and drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what you think about this.